Hello, this is my second video in 2 days. So, this is going to be the review of demigods and magicians. And before I get into this, I want to say that I have got some lovely, well, not lovely news, but sad news. Hunger has to go back to the library because it was a library book, and I can't renew it because somebody has reserved it. So I can't have the review on Hunger. Sorry to disappoint you, everybody. But now, back to the good news. We are doing a review on demigods and magicians. So, the author of this is my favourite author, and I expected high expectations. I've only read one of the short stories before, and that was The Son of Sobek, and I expected high expectations for the next two, especially The Trials of Apollo. I think, like my Gone Book review, this smashed those expectations. The Son of Sobek I read and still blew my mind out, even though I've read it for like the 6th time. The Staff of Cerberus went low a bit. He went low. So it went low. It got a little bit worse than the Son of Sobek, but it was still amazeballs. The way he read it, and so good. And the last one kind of pulled at me. Wow, that pushed through me. That was like so good. The way it was written, the way how he described all the action. It wasn't action all the way through. It was figuring out stuff. And the way he described it all was just amazing. And now, the Hidden Oracle. That was to perfection. It was amazing. So, there you go. I recommend this book. I'm going to read the blurb. After I read the blurb, it's all going to be spoilers from then on. If you haven't read it, but you want to see spoilers, well, you can read it. You can just keep watching. But if you don't want to see the spoilers, just stop watching this video after I read the blurb. So here's the blurb. Magic meets mythology in this explosive trilogy of short stories from Rick Riordan. When a mysterious magical disturbance draws magicians Carter and Sadie Kane to New York, they meet another pair of kids with abilities just as incredible as their own, Percy Jackson and Annabeth Chase. It's no big coincidence that they've all been drawn to the Big Apple. A crazed sorcerer, Sinet, is stirring up double trouble, unleashing dangerous creatures from both Greek and Egyptian myth. With Sinet determined to devour the gods themselves to obtain the gift of immortality, the demigods and magicians must combine their powers to stop him before it's too late. So that is the blurb, Demigods and Magicians, with a sneak peek of Trials of Apollo at the back. So now, let's get on to the spoilers part. 1, 2, 3, you better be gone by now if you haven't read it. So, it was... Okay, let's start with The Son of Sobek. The first sentence, I think it just hooked me. And that first sentence was, getting eaten by a giant crocodile was bad enough. The kid with the glowing sword only made my day worse. So that one was from Carter's point of view. That just sucked me in, and I wanted to read more. I wanted to read about how they defeated the crocodile, why it was so massive. Who was the kid with the glowing sword? Of course I could have worked that out. Of course it's Percy Jackson. And the way when Percy Jackson and Carter fought against each other, it was just tense. I was screaming, "Don't fight, you're a team." And so he read that perfectly. I think he wanted his the readers to think that. So, good on him for that. Congratulations. And now, the staff of Serapis. Great. Perfect. And this was the start of it. Until she spotted the two-headed monster, Annabeth didn't think her day could get worse. That is pretty good. Pretty good for a start. And this is not by someone's point of view, but it's mainly about Annabeth and Sadie. But it's got Annabeth's point of view because it has her thoughts, not Sadie's. But it's not directly from her point of view. So, it's great. And I think when they were fighting Serapis was my favourite part. The way how they described all the crumbly building, and it was hilarious, it was historical, as well as dangerously awesome. So yeah. And Serapis, I didn't get the staff part until the end. I was like, that totally makes sense. And I think, I know, Staff of Serapis was really good. So, yeah. And now, the Crown of Polentme, start of that was, Carter! I shouted. And instantly I said, I have to read this. I mean, who cannot? It was amazing. Smashed it. Like, describing how Sinet looks and Sadie and Percy being the same. Well, figure this. They mentioned this in that book. Carter and Annabeth were the same because they like to think of plans and be skillful, where Percy and Sadie just like to charge in. So, yeah, and the hell of their differences. There's massive character development in that book. Percy's still the idiot kid. So, yeah. And we all and the way he described the action, that was just good. And the way they finished Sinet off was amazing. And at the end, when Carter and him shook hands, they were like, he said he couldn't have done without him, which is also true. But it was Percy was the real hero in that one. So, that brings me to rate every individual story. Not going to do a review part for the Hidden Oracle though. Yeah. So, number 1, Son of Sobek. 5 out of 5. It was amazing. Staff of Serapis. 4.5 out of 5. It was amazing. And The Crown of Polentme. 5 out of 5. It was amazing. Which bring this book total 14.5 out of 15. I don't think, but I reckon that I could actually give it 15 out of 15. So there was my review. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you.